I've been thinking a lot about what I want this next part of my life to look like. And I keep coming back to this idea that maybe I spent too much time waiting for my life to get easier, waiting for my kids to get older, for the weekends to roll around, for money to flow in more consistently, for more support, more help, waiting for all of these things to happen before I can actually lean into the version of my life and myself that I actually want. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of over it because I'm 41. I have 4 young kids under the age of 12 as of today. And my life is full. My life is loud. It's messy sometimes. The other day I was walking and it dawned on me that maybe this may be what my actual life is, not the bad part before the good part. I kept feeling as if I could just wait it out, if I could just get to a milestone, things will feel easier, lighter, and I can finally redirect some of that energy and attention and time. But this might be life for me, not the waiting room for life. And I don't want to spend another 5 or 10 years waiting for the circumstances to become perfect before I finally figure out that I'm allowed to ask for what I want. And that is what this channel is going to be about. And I'm running with the idea of calling this era Act 3. Yes, that is a play on Beyonce, but I don't mean Act 3 as if I figured it all out. It's the opposite of that. I think Act 3 is when you finally reach a stage in life where you have enough life behind you to, to start asking better questions of yourself about the life you want ahead. I've done plenty of things because I felt as if I was obligated to, or I was expected to, or because my ego just likes to win and pursue things. I've started things, I've stopped things, I've changed my mind, I've gotten overwhelmed, I've gotten excited, I started again. I've had seasons where I have been incredibly ambitious, and I've had seasons where just surviving the day was the biggest win that I could ask for. And I'm not too far removed from what I feel like a 4-year survival season, especially the last close to 2 years since my mom has died. But I think there's something that happens when you get into your 40s and you realize that you don't have to keep proving that you can do anything to anyone else unless you want to, nor do you have to keep asking to be understood about the way in which you want to live the years ahead of you, right? That's where I am right now, to live a bigger, fuller, interesting, engaging life. It's one of my biggest prayers. But here's the thing, I don't think any of those goals or desires become less legitimate because I am in my 40s or because I have 4 kids. If anything, I am getting less interested in the idea that I have to choose between becoming or being an attentive mom and being a whole person. And I think as women, especially moms, we've gotten really good at putting ourselves on a wait list. For me, that looks like waiting until my youngest started kindergarten, which he started this week. Crazy. When I have money coming in consistently, when the weekend rolls around, when I have more support, when I lost the grief weight that I gained. I have, by the way, lost 17 pounds in the last 2.5 months, really from just walking. Another story for another day, or even waiting to do something for myself because I needed time. I thought I needed to wait until I could catch my breath first. And here's what I'm starting to believe. Things may never settle down in the way that I imagined. There probably will just be different things. The kids will grow older and have different problems. You solve one financial problem and you welcome another. You find a cadence and a rhythm with life, and then your mom dies, right? You feel as if you finally have some financial wiggle room, and then the washing machine breaks down, or your car needs service. But that's life. And I don't want my definition of I'm finally living the life I want to require everything and everyone around me to cooperate. Does that make sense? Because I've tried it. I've tried so hard at that. And it's a terrible plan. But what I realized is I could ask myself a better question. And for me, about 2, 3 months ago, the best question that I asked myself is, what can I do inside the life I already have? What can I do? And I have to tell you, that became a more interesting and fun question for me to ask. And that's where this channel comes in. I've had this channel for a while. I've talked about different things: entrepreneurship, fitness, goals. And I have been quiet long form for quite some time. But in the background, I'm still living, I'm still figuring things out, I'm still working toward this question, answering this question that I started asking myself every day. And I realized when I was thinking about returning back to YouTube, I didn't want to come back here being the woman who had it all figured out, because that's not where I am. But I find it more interesting to document the process and allow you to witness what it looks like when I start to take the things I say I want seriously. Because the last 2.5 months of life for me have been an honest reflection of that. So we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about careers and work and side income. And I've tried so many things at this point that I feel as if I have a really honest opinion, valid, honest opinion to share what I think is best for you to try if you're exploring new options with making more money. We're going to talk about health. I shared with you already, I've lost 17 pounds in the last 2.5 months walking, averaging 14,000 steps a day one month, 12,000 steps a day another month. And I'm a runner. I've been a runner my entire life, walking, not going to the gym, not doing some crazy workout plan is what has finally got me back on track. And we're going to talk about that, because what I learned was how to meet myself in my body where I was in this version of my life. And we're still going to talk about goals and boundaries and discipline and faith, the things I'm no longer interested in doing or willing to do, the things I'm testing, the things I've changed my mind about, and probably a lot of very boring days integrated in there. And honestly, I think the boring stuff is the key stuff. And I do have a position and a hard, honest belief about certain things that I know may not agree with you and some other people. I don't believe entrepreneurship is for everyone. I do believe side incomes are. I don't believe everything you do needs an objective or an intention or a goal. I don't think when you show up for yourself online, it should look as if you have no one else in your home. I don't think focusing solely and exclusively on taking care of your external self is self care. And you can argue with your mom about that. I am much more interested in what happens when you keep small promises to yourself. When you start to decide certain things are non negotiable, when you stop saying yes to everything because you're so afraid of disappointing everyone. And when you start thinking about money as if it's a tool to help you to buy support or buy more options instead of just another goal for you to chase. That's honestly the type of growth and goals and conversations that I'm most interested in these days. And I played with and playing with this idea of high maintenance. I posted a video about it before, but it's very different than the way you may think of the phrase. I don't mean being high maintenance in a way of requiring everyone else to accommodate you. I think you should be high maintenance about the things that matter to you, being high maintenance about your money, your health, your peace, your standards, your time, energy, and attention. I run a strict program about who and what I allow into my life, and I make no apologies for it, because I think women, especially moms, are encouraged to be flexible and accommodating and available and just expected to figure things out according to what everyone else wants them to do first. And I think there are seasons of life where you're going to have no other choice but to be in that space. And I believe there are also seasons and opportunities in that same season for you to say, no, this matters to me. This is what I want. I'm doing this, and I'm not explaining myself for it. That energy is showing up a lot here in this content, okay? And lastly, there's a very practical reason I'm getting serious about YouTube right now. YouTube recently announced its monetization threshold has increased. I'm at 569 subscribers today, and I am not consistent with long form content on this channel. I have until February to meet their threshold to be monetized. And I thought, how fun would it be to aim for that for January? I might reach it, I might not, but I think it would be a lot of fun to see what becomes as a result. That means I'm going to have to do better at staying consistent, at getting you to want to watch, to want to stick around and stay and engage in the comments and have conversations, to tell better stories and better titles, better thumbnails, right? To encourage you to play my videos in the background while you drive, on your TV while you're cleaning, while you're watching your kids or doing nothing, just to help my watch time hours, because it'd be so helpful if you did. I'm going to document that too, because that's what Act 3 is for me. It's not about having some dramatic reinvention as much as it is about deciding that I'm no longer going to put things on hold that I want for myself. And being monetized on YouTube is something, a goal loosely, that I've had for quite some time. And if you're watching this and you're somewhere around my age, maybe you're older, maybe you're younger, maybe you have kids, maybe you don't, maybe you're trying to change careers or make more money online or lose weight or trying to build your confidence and self-worth. Maybe you are very happy with where you are in your life, but you kind of got this nudge and pull that you could be challenging and pushing yourself a little bit more. I don't want this channel to tell you what your life should look like. I want you to come here and know that you get to see a woman in her 40s with 4 young children, navigating grief with Hashimoto's, trying things, trying to make more money, trying to lose weight, trying to build additional income streams, trying to meet herself where she is in life and actually doing them. I thought for a long time that the goal was to finally get my life together. And now I'm starting to think that maybe the goal is to just live a life or build a life that I actually want to live and keep living, even when it's messy and inconvenient and unexpected, or I don't feel motivated or don't have a plan. That's what I hope you get to witness here. It's not how to become perfect in this. Just see what happens when you give yourself permission to try and try and try and meet yourself where you are. So that's Act 3. I have a very full life, and there's a lot that I want for my life still. I'm just not waiting for the perfect time anymore. You know, if you're in that season where you know you want more out of life, or still trying to figure out how to deal with the very full life you have right now, I really think you're going to like it here. I'm figuring out a good bit of this in real time. And if that's the kind of life that you're trying to build too, please subscribe to the channel, click the like button, make sure to comment below and tell me what resonated with you. Make sure to stick around. We'll see what happens next together. Thanks so much for watching.